set out to build a classic mono-white flicker deck with EleshNorn at the helm, and I think you're going to like what I came up with. We have access to powerful blink effects like Felidar Guardian and Restoration Angel that can be used to advance our board state or combo, since we can have them target each other in addition to another target. The flexibility doesn't stop there though. Powerful removal options like Norn and Active Authority can also serve as win conditions, since we can use Liquid Metal Coating to turn all of our opponent's permanents into artifacts. And I think that's what I like so much about this deck. It has a ton of synergy, and piecing together combos is going to feel different every time. Aerial Extortionist and Flicker Wisp can interact with opponents or let us grab a few extra ETBs. Since our commander doesn't flicker inherently, we need to make sure we have enough ways to reset ETBs in the 99. Solemn Simulacrum and Core Cartographer aren't my go-tos for ramp, but in this deck I think they're going to pull a lot of weight. Now, Recruiter of the Guard being able to tutor 2 creatures is pretty sweet, but we do need to keep in mind that you can only find a creature with toughness 2 or less. This cuts out a lot of great options like Felidar Guardian, Abdel, and Restoration Angel. Its primary targets is probably going to be to find draw creatures. And I would be remiss to not mention the draw creatures. They're the fundamental part of our deck, and we absolutely need to find one as soon as possible. We do have some great options like Wall of Omens, as well as the Spirited Companion, and Throbbing Inspector can make clues that we can sacrifice and draw cards. Now, we don't have a lot of options for this effect, but we do have a few 3-drops like Inspiring Overseer, Priest of Ancient Lore, as well as the Rumor Gatherer. And Rumor Gatherer is actually super sweet because it triggers when other creatures enter the battlefield, and if we have EleshNorn out, we're going to be able to trigger this twice in a turn really easily. If you can make 4 mana with artifacts, you can use Eldrazi Displacer to flicker your creatures infinitely, since Abdel, Leon and Relic Order, and Felidar Guardian can reset the artifacts with blinks. In addition to Liquid Metal Coating as a win condition, we can also extort Blind Obedience by casting White Mane Lion an infinite amount of times if we make infinite white mana. Or we can just use Abdel to make an infinite amount of soldiers. In addition to being combo pieces, White Mane Lion and Stonecloaker are great for protecting our creatures and resetting ETBs, since we can return them to our hand with the additional trigger from EleshNorn. Eldrazi Displacer has great synergy with the deck in general, flickering for value or extra removal. Its interaction with Solitude is great since we can get around the Evoke Sacrifice trigger by flickering it in response. If you've enjoyed the video so far, be sure to leave a like. I don't normally play flicker decks, but the flexibility of this deck is really impressive. Our board wipes are obviously very flexible, but we also have the flicker effects that can let us advance our board state, interact with our opponents, or protect our creatures. Cosmic Intervention can have some fun interactions with our sacrifice outlets, and I want to bring your attention to the Soul Partition. This card is really great for being removal if you really need to. They'll have to pay 2 extra mana if they want to cast that non-land permanent again, but we can also use it to exile one of our own permanents, and we're not going to get taxed for casting it from exile. So it's a great way to protect one of our things and also get some extra ETBs if we need it. In the artifacts, we have ways to flicker for value and sacrifice outlets that can interact favorably with Karmic Guide and Suntitan, since we can go infinite if we have a flicker creature like Fiend Hunter. First, we'll exile Suntitan with Fiend Hunter and sacrifice Fiend Hunter. This will bring Suntitan back, and Suntitan can bring back Fiend Hunter and another permanent like Norn or Liquid Metal Coating if we have EleshNorn out. Norn can destroy Liquid Metal Coating to reset it. Hedron Archive is for a little bit of extra ramp, but it also has the synergy with the Eldrazi Displacer. We've also got the Oketra's Monument and Pearl for a little bit of cost reduction. We can also have some fun shenanigans with the White Mane Lion if we have a Phyrexian Altar out. The enchantments in the deck are already really great, but with EleshNorn they get a whole lot better. Active Authority exiling 2 things is really sweet, and then Grasp of Fate hitting up to 6 cards is a pretty insane value. Oblivion Ring can be removal or a combo piece with Felidar Guardian and Leon and Relic Warder. And Touch the Spirit Realm is super flexible. We can use it to flicker one of our creatures, we can use it as removal, or we can use it as a combo piece. And then we've got the Blind Obedience, which we can use to extort when we have that infinite mana. Authority of the Consuls, I wanted to have some of the life gain type stuff in the deck, so we kept the really strong ones. Obviously, we have the Authority of the Councils, in addition to the Soul's Attendant and the Suture Priest, since we can train opponents with that one. We have a lot of great utility lands that can also be used to pay for the Eldrazi Displacer cost. And I want to give some honorable mentions out, stuff like Rally Ancestors, which could reanimate our board, and then if we hit other flicker creatures, we can avoid the exile from Rally the Ancestors by resetting our creatures. Preston was starting to go down a rabbit hole, and it didn't really contribute to the flicker theme of the deck. While it was super good when it was good in testing, I just wasn't really impressed if we didn't have another way to flicker stuff. Meticulous, Excavation, and Livio are pretty subpar ways to get extra ETB effects, so I ended up cutting them. If your playgroup has a lot of big creatures and you need to keep up with that, then Catherine's Crusade would definitely be a good option. I didn't feel we really needed it in the deck. And then Defiler of Faith could have some fun interactions with the white main lion, but overall it didn't add to our flicker strategy, so I decided to cut it. Thanks for checking out the video, guys. If you want to see a 99 land Soul of Windgrace deck, then check out this video here.